we have a special guest, one of my rock stars.
They're too nice.
She's also the lady behind my madness when it comes to cycling and training. So I have here my coach, Shangrila Rendon. Woo, in the house. Say hi, Shang.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Monica. Actually, I have to correct that. I'm not the one who's bringing you the madness. I think you're the one who's bringing me madness with all your crazy schedule, and I have to like make sure your trainings all fit in. So I think it's vice versa, actually.
You know, the funny thing is, I think you're right. I think you're helping me control my madness.
It's already mad as it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you're in my team. We have Elise that jumped in also. What's up, girl? Hey. So feel free to chime in. So before we normally start off with a motivational song, but I have a special treat for you guys because I want you to get a feel of who Shangrila is, and how much I admire her. And I know I gave a quick blurb about her, but this video is gonna sum up like who she really is and how strong of a mindset she has. And I brought her in our group because of our topic about, for the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about strengthening beliefs, strengthening our mindset. So I wanted to share a living, breathing person that really lives that. And we could pick her brain on how she uses her mind to get into putting things in action in her life and then accomplishing them. So without further ado, let me do a quick screen share. Here we go.
Nakamabilis sa babaeng nakakumpleto ng World Cup quintuple race.
Isang Pilipina, isang bagong Guinness World Record.
Guinness Book of World Records title holder. And when you meet her, you will be inspired because her story is not only heartbreaking, it's touching, and it will move you. Here now is Shangrila Rendon.
Siya si Shangrila Rendon.
Never had imagined that I would be racing it this year. Never. The last thing that I wanted to happen was injury. Despite of all the different things going on, one thing that I am sure, I am moving forward.
My name is Shangrila Rendon. I was originally born in the Philippines. I am an engineer by profession, and also I'm a triathlon coach. I think my tactics is just being optimistic. I mean, there's also the dogs biting me, but that's okay.
I expected the worst in the race. I was exhausted. It continued to expose me to the dangers of all the big trucks, bumper-to-bumper traffic, construction, and underdeveloped roads. This was one of the risks that I took. The rain got stronger while it was already getting dark. I've cycled over 300 miles now. There's no way that I'm gonna stop, I told myself. It started raining hard. I was cold and wet. Chaos all over. I had to strategize where to ride, as there were also constructions every now and then. saying, let's go. Spin one thing at a time. One of the things that the race taught me was to be braver than I already was. I continued to ride because I knew that I was allowing myself to learn by experience.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's great. It was a great experience.
It was awesome. I got a few more people I'm adding in here. It looks like a couple of questions for you. I know that you did this Siberian race last year. I wanted to know, because the last couple of weeks, our group has been really talking about how to have a stronger mindset. And how does that look like in our life? And even in moments of like the Siberian race, what goes in your mind when you're going to something like that?
Something Siberia?
Yeah.
Okay. Just for everyone's information, so the Trans-Siberia is basically, it's kind of like Tour de France, riding 400 miles or 200, 300 miles almost back to back every day. So it does take not just physical exercise, it takes a lot in mindset, basically, in a lot of the races that I've done. So before I entered the race, I've already made a decision and I made commitment that I will finish the race no matter what. So first of all, whenever I enter the race, it's okay. There's no other way but just to finish. Okay. So what goes in my head is basically how to finish it. What can I do at that particular moment for me to be able to go longer and then stay in the game? Do you follow? So, there's a lot of different things. But that's basically the main thing. What can I do? Am I actually drinking enough water? Am I eating enough? Later on, will I hurt if I don't start stretching? All these things. And actually, for example, it comes to strategic. Am I safe? Okay. Because that's actually one of the things that I was doing. Yeah.
Awesome. So is a lot of the mindset have to do with before you even start the race?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's a whole different thing.
Yeah. Because the thing is that, just like when you exercise, you don't go to a race without exercising. When you go to a race or you actually try to achieve something, you want to exercise train. So that means you have to train your mind before. And, so for example, like the training that I've been giving you, I'm making it so hard that you want to quit. So at least you could train your mindset. So I'm actually touching base different things. So for example, for me, during the training, it requires a lot of discipline because at the race, it will require me discipline. So when I was training on that one, I would wake up at 2 a.m. to actually prepare stuff and then start driving to the mountains at 3 a.m. and drive there. So I'm like, the schedule, the discipline, the mindset, those got to be prepared. I've done so many other different things, not just relying on myself, but actually relying to coaches, those who have done it before. I listen to audiobooks also. Mm-hmm. And I practice it. Why? Because once you're in the race, you want to make sure that you can just grab it, like you're grabbing like a good yummy lunch, it's just grab it easily. Because when it's the race, there's so much pressure, it's so stressful that you don't really have time to think. But if you practice it every day, it sticks to your head and it makes it easier. And, there's no like, well, what if? But then if you already have been practicing it, it will just be automatically. Okay. So some of the things, so for example, if you're reading a book, if you just read a book once, it's not going to stick to you. And that's why, when I have the audiobook, I tell people like I've listened to it at least 20 times because I want to stick to my head. And when it gets hard, I know what to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I know we're talking about like a big race, and a lot of the kids
Sure.
have not experienced that.
We can make it smaller.
but it's the same concept with, a test or going to school every day. I mean, that requires discipline, right? You can't be lazy to quit school. There's studying, right? There's, and then with parents, we still got to go to work. We still got to take care of the household. All of those, that energy of a variety of things in life, that's the same kind of energy that we put in a race like yourselves, right? Even more, of course.
Yeah.
But it's that same energy is what I'm trying.
Yeah. So for example, just relating it to, the normal lives. So for example, just the basic time management. Okay. If you're not able to do just, waking up early morning and being on time, then you will have a big problem if you're actually trying to achieve a bigger goal. Or like if you're trying to want to clean the house, but you can't even clean your room, then it's a problem. So you want to, you want to actually practice little small steps so you can get ready to the bigger one. And for you to actually be able to do those things, you want to do it repetitively so it becomes a habit and it makes it easier. It's a lot harder when you're starting out, especially if you're trying to practice something so new, like something, oh yeah, it's a great idea, it looks good, it works for the other person, but then now I have to do it. It's so hard to get started because like you're not used to doing it. So yeah.
So it's a matter of repetition and
baby steps in the beginning.
Baby steps.
Being more realistic of what you can really, really do, and not aim so high when there's so many different things that you have not considered. So when I did the race, I aimed so high, but then there were a lot of strategies that took in place. For example, sure, I am gonna race, I have to train, but there's a lot of other things. I have my business, I have my family, I have my dogs who's gonna take care of my dog for the entire month. Okay, so what's gonna happen at home? So those are different things that it needs balance, so you don't drop the ball in other areas of of your life. Yeah.
Do you ever get tired? Because for me, sometimes I'm like, I need a little time out.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah, no. So, I do have my business as, for coaching, and when you love your business, sometimes you just like work because you love it. You don't feel like you're working, but physically you are, and mentally you are. I mean, I'm going to say to myself, I am. So, physically I did not know. And suddenly you just like, it's too much and it's too late. So since then, when I realized the amount of work that I'm putting, I've actually scheduled like little vacations on a weekend wherein I'm not going to think of anything else but myself. So I do that on a month.
Is that like quarterly or
on a monthly basis for a weekend, but at the same time on a daily basis. Okay, because one of the things is that I lose focus. I get distracted so easily, especially because I talk a lot with a lot of different people. So I do bucket. Okay, so meaning that I only focus on one thing at a time, compartmentalizing it. And also with my time. So for example, I put only 1 hour. So let's say for 50 minutes, I'm only going to focus on that thing. And then 10 minutes, I'm going to take a break. I have a treadmill here. So on the 10-minute, so at least to get my blood, my heart rate going up. So I just, it's not a hard workout, but at least get the blood flowing. It's a lot easier for me to actually think for the next hour. So I do that transition also, like little breaks here and there, or like I walk the dog to give myself a break. Because if I'm going for a big dream, it would take a lot of effort, and that means that I will have to be ready to be there for the long haul. Okay, there are some people kind of like mushroom, they go there and then suddenly what happened, they're gone. So to me in racing, I mean, it's been long, I have not stopped, and it's just growing and growing in business. And then, but for me to stay there, I have to have a break. Otherwise, health would be jeopardized as well. So
Just, I guess, in comparison, just like having a Ferrari or a Rolls Royce, they all need a tune-up. They're not
yeah.
gonna
Oh yeah.
go on for years and years and
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So just like our brains, we have to have a little bit of a timeout as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sometimes we need to have a check on ourselves and really know ourselves of symptoms of coming up, so at least it's not too late. Also.
Yeah. So I wanted to share you guys another background of Shangrila. I know we just talked about her recent race, but her list of resume very remarkable. I wanted to kind of talk about just one or two of them, because I know in 2015 you were able to get a Guinness World Record
Yeah.
in Mexico doing 5 Ironman races in 5 days. And then of course the following year you did 8 Ironmans in 8 days, and then you just nonstop ever since then.
Yeah.
What is going on in your mind?
I think it's
time.
It's the personality. It's like I can't not do something big. And also, yeah, that Guinness World is I didn't plan for it. So it was unplanned also. Actually, after that 5 days in Mexico, doing having the fastest female to complete cumulative time for 5 Ironman, I actually went back to work. So that was Monday to Friday. Saturday I had a podium. I was in plane already in LAX on Saturday. Sunday I was back in Los Angeles, and Monday I was back to work because I did not have any vacation. Those times, a lot of time management, but whenever I put myself into something big, it's not just about the race. I'm actually growing as a person, because I've given myself to be vulnerable of different challenges that other people would be like, oh no, I can't do that. But to me, I welcome it because it's a learning process. And and so for example, that was Mexico. And then I also aimed for the Switzerland on 2016. Unfortunately, I was aiming for 10 Ironman in 10 days, but I had a pinched nerve. And then, so, that's one of the setbacks, because I aimed for something big. Okay. But then, I would have been like all depressed, but I did not, because I know during that process, I learned a lot already. It's not about what's the end result. It's more of the actual process. And it's always something that there is to learn.
So it's never you don't have a fear of failure. It's the process that you value, and if you make that goal, that's almost like icing on the cake.
Yes, it's actually you always get better, whether you fail or not. I always get better. So for example, the Trans-Siberia, I aim for 24 days, 5,700 miles, but I end up 10 days only. But what did I get? I got a lot. I was able to actually grow and learn of how to manage my time. Okay. I was able to get more connection. And even the last day, I did not have to bike, because it was, I was thinking of myself, I don't have to bike, but why am I riding at night with all these guys? And I told myself, and that's the part of the video, because I want to be braver than I already am. Because without me getting into that experience of exposing myself there, I won't learn it. there's a lot of theoretical in the books of how to be brave, but the only thing that will teach us is actually to get ourselves in there and actually experience it. And that's gonna stick more to me. That's something that I can take with me, and no one can take it off from me, you know. So that's why I stayed. Like, even though there's no credit, I will go for it because I'm learning. I'm gaining something.
And I so believe in what you just said, because I'm feeling that when I'm going through the races I've had the last couple of months. Tish had mentioned something here. What specific statements would you repeat or say to yourself during your training
Oh, sure.
or daily life?
Honestly, when I did the when I actually committed to do something big, I asked myself the main reason why I wanted to do it. Okay. And that was actually 2014. I told myself, I'm done doing just being mediocre or being an average. I want to do something big. So I hired coaches, business coach, life coach, and triathlon coach, nutrition, all those stuff. And but I know the reason. I'm investing a lot. I'm investing my time. So what I repeat to myself, who I am and why am I doing it? And really, I know it may sound cheesy, but really, I repeat to myself why I'm doing it. And what I say that is because I tell myself I represent those people who have survived of child abuse, those who have PTSD, those who are alcoholic, those who had suicidal, those who are in LGBT. So all those things, those who are Filipinos, those who are in poverty. And I want them to see that no matter one has experienced in the past how horrible the past is, that it can be better, that it can be positive. And whenever I'm having a hard time, I tell myself, I can only do that if I can show them that I can do it. But if I don't do it, if I just let go with all these emotions that I'm having a hard time, then I cannot show them that it's possible. So I keep on telling myself to just do it to me. It works better if I'm doing it for other people. Okay, because I feel like I have a purpose. And so when I'm having a hard time, I just say, I got to do it for others, so they will see that it's possible, that there's hope, and I can inspire them to do the same thing, either in different ways. Oops, sorry. Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. You find your motivation.
So my motivation is the reason why I'm doing it, which is, it has to be. So when you're trying to find a reason or why, so what you're going to do is, like, for example, let's say, I'm just making an example. So for example, why am I exercising? Well, because I want to be healthy. Why do you want to be healthy? Because I want to live long. Why do you want to live long? Because I want my kids to see me happy and, full of life. Why do you want your kids to see you? So you keep on asking why until you're gone. You don't have any more other questions. And you come to that point, because I want to be a great example for my kids, because so I can teach them the experience that I've learned. So when you're having a hard time, then you go back to those why. And I've used that with a lot of my other athletes. Like, seriously, hopefully, so far it's not Monica just yet, but I've asked them that, why are you still doing it? I'm not here to force you to still finish what you have started. You have to be willing, because I'm not going to drag you. I'm here to be with you, and I need you to be with me. So it goes back to, I believe it's the main reason why you're doing it.
And I think that goes along with every aspect of our life. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we having an e-commerce business? Why are we taking this course? Why, I'm trying to lose weight or other goals. Why, I don't know if that was me, but why? I think that question of us saying that to ourselves and having that deeper meaning is so important.
Yeah. I actually had a race wherein I was calculating the time, whether I'm going to finish on time or not. It was a big race, but I got lost. It was actually Ultraman. And then, in my head, it was so hard. And to my head, like, it was so impossible for me to get to the finish line. But you know what I was thinking? I'm doing this for the people who believe that I can do it. And I just keep on repeating that to myself. And I'm doing this to show to those people, those children, that there's hope. So, yeah.
Good stuff. I'm going to unmute a couple of you guys. If you have any questions, please, you're more than welcome to be in this conversation. I don't want it to just be Shangri-La and I. Hi, Tish.
Hi.
Great
Hi,
question.
Shangrila.
Hi.
Thanks for being with us. Wow,
Pleasure.
your story is amazing. And we just watched the video of you help training Monica, I think.
Oh, sure.
And then to see your video is pretty inspiring. I cannot imagine myself doing anything like that. But yeah, physically anyway. But I think for me, like I can totally relate to like doing it for other people, because my personality, one of the things in my personality is helping other people, or meeting needs for other people. I just came back from a conference, and we were reminded of that there's like 4 different types of people, and they're motivated by different things. And Drew's helping me out there. And so like my son here, he's motivated by like a challenge, but he's also very motivated by money. Like, what was the other one? Like, other people are motivated by fun.
That's me.
Yeah. And then also motivated by like facts and figures, or, research, organization, kind of stuff. But,
that was funny when the cat popped out at me.
Sorry.
So I'm just wondering if, like, when you're training people, do you have to figure out what kind of personality they have, and in order to know how to help them in the best way?
Yes. Good question.
Yep.
Actually, because a person, when they actually come to me to coach them, I do, honestly, it's actually about an hour to get to know them, to see their personality also. And because I know that the person will invest time, money, energy away from the family, a lot of different sacrifice, I want to make sure that I'm the right coach for them. So during that conversation, before we even get into the training itself, I'm already getting the feel about the personality of the person. So yes, not just the personality, actually, things that motivate them, why they're doing it, what ticks them, what they need help from me the most, so we can get the fastest result. And then I'm more of a chameleon, meaning that I actually adjust my personality as a coach to them, my in terms of my communication. So I change that way. So for example, let's say I coach Monica's husband too, Johnny. They have completely different different personalities. They're both great. I see the commitment, but it doesn't mean that they're the same. So their communication is different. The way that I motivate them, they're different. So I adjust the way I coach, and I know that that's the best way that I can actually get into the person. Also, not just that, also understanding their lifestyle. So I adjust the coaching in terms of the lifestyle of someone who actually flies 3 times a week, 3 times on a weekend, like Monica. And it gets so hard because, and I look at the bigger picture. Okay, Monica needs to get to this goal. Where are we? And it's a lot of communication, and the person got to be willing to communicate and work with me. So that's why I have those expectations, which is communication, consistency, and commitment.
Okay.
That's why I value coaches so much, because Shang, like you're because you're my endurance coach, you're like a GPS for that particular goal, right? And
Yep.
I firmly believe, like, if you have a goal, you really need an army behind you, just like this e-commerce kids community, your coach or other coaches, Danny Johnson as a coach that you've gone to, Tish.
Mhm.
You got to have those people around you. You can't do this by yourself.
Yeah.
I will just go nuts and probably won't even get to my goal if I didn't have the people putting me in check. Like, Shang would get mad at me. You know, like, what are you doing? You didn't work out yesterday. You better get on that bike.
Oh, that was his I think that was you in your head talking.
You have
Is that the response to laziness? Because that was my next question. Like, when you see laziness versus tired, right? Like, the difference between, yes, exhausted, literally, or lazy. Like, how do you approach lazy versus
Exhausted.
something, that's a good enough excuse or whatever? I don't know.
Sure. Honestly, to tell you the truth, laziness won't last in my coaching, because I could see it. I could see it right away, even at the talking part.
Does that mean I'm not lazy? This is great.
So far, not that I know of. It's just that you get so busy.
Yeah.
And then more of prioritization. So, but let's say I there are times that I actually see a person who's, let's say, quote unquote lazy. Then what I do is more of communication. So I communicate to the person and try to understand what's holding the person back. Because laziness, it's either that's their personality, but also at the same time, it's possible that that person has not really had the right person to guide them to be better. So I always see the person as someone who can be developed, because that's how I was. I mean, I was really, like,
oh, we lost her.
I'm still here. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, in my website, I actually said that, I'm a recovering alcoholic. So I'm like, really, sure, I'm an engineer, but I've been into this. I'm not the best person to go to. Okay. But if the person has the hope and could see, if the person can actually see what's better or what's the possibility, then it can be great. Just like how I've turned myself be. Do you follow? So whenever a person comes to me, I don't say like, that's a bad person. I just say that there's an opportunity for the person to actually be better.
Okay.
So that will come to communication and actually understanding the person, where the person is coming from. And the communication, it varies depending on the personality of the person.
Absolutely. I think understanding the other people's personality just builds the relationship up, because people are not going to be just like me, and not everybody can relate automatically. But if it's your significant other, your kids, business partners, or clients, you have to be intentional on understanding their personality and being able to communicate successfully with their personality, not with my personality.
Yeah.
Shang?
So I give the person a benefit of the doubt. I don't assume things. I'm really like more of a blank slate. So like, for example, if Monica didn't complete the workout, it doesn't mean that she's lazy. So I like ask, okay, what happened that day? How can I help you?
But he's also
And then not just looking at that particular day, what I do is that I don't tell her, okay, do this, do that. Instead, I tell her the reasons why I'm asking her to do that. Because if she knows the importance or the purpose why I'm asking her to do that, then she would be more willing to actually follow or actually be able to suggest different things that would get her to that goal.
Yes.
I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. I'm going to unmute Scott, Elise, and Tanisha. If you guys have questions, please share. And it doesn't all have to be mindset. We could also have an Amazon question. If you guys are, how are you guys doing this past week? How's business? How's life? How's your mindset? Are you guys having a better positive attitude? Are you guys being intentional with your beliefs? Matter of fact, while we're talking about beliefs, Shang, I do have a question for you on beliefs. What would be an old belief that you've had in the past that you were able to get rid of? And did you replace it with a new belief, or you just got rid of it?
Okay. So I think one of the main things that I had was that, well, actually a couple of things, that I can do everything on my own. Okay. That, that I don't need anyone else. And I've learned that way the hard way because I failed because doing it on my own. And that's why on 2015, I've had the life coach and triathlon coach, like I said. And because of that reason, when I learned that, I was able to cut the learning process and the results was faster. So that's what I've been doing my best, is actually to tap on different resources. So that is my new belief, is that I want to make sure that I actually cut the learning process because I want the results fast. And I will be able to do that by networking, talking to people, like really picking the right people to talk to also. So that's one. The second part is that before, what I would say is that, oh, that's expensive. That means I cannot get it. So I'm not going to do it. But then it's just limiting my experiences without even finding different ways of how to get the money. Okay. So for example, my races, just one registration for a race. So let's just one race. It's $1,800 just for a race. And who pays to get the plane? And that's only registration. That includes, how about the plane ticket, going to Switzerland, going to Mexico? And I'm not only talking about myself, I'm also talking about like my cruise. So before, I'm not going to do that because it's expensive, but then I'm limiting myself to what is possible. Okay. Because if I did not register, if I did not actually look at the bigger races that would get me to where I'm at now, then it won't open up doors. So when I did register on those things, it just opened up, and I was able to grow in a way that I'm able to actually get the resources. Another example, last one for that money part, is the Trans-Siberia. Registration for Trans-Siberia, it's $20,000. Okay.
Wow.
That is just the registration. That doesn't even include the passport, the process, the visa, the plane ticket of my support cruise. But I was able, I wanted to do it, and I was able to get sponsors. And and by the time I also realized that I didn't have a second bike. So where am I going to get the bike? So I had so many other different things that I'm thinking about, but I did not stop. I was just committed to do it. And I ended up actually only spending $2,000 for just the baggage, which is the bike and all stuff. But the rest I got sponsors, and I was able to do that because I actually still went for it and be resourceful of how to get the money. And while I got sponsors, is that I was also able to raise funds for a nonprofit organization. So I have to speak up to do that. So I think those are the main couple beliefs. Yeah. Oh, the other one, sorry. Is it okay still? I had one more. Okay. So the other one is also, I never thought that I will be where I'm at right now. I never thought that I would be Guinness World Record. I never thought that I will be in business because I have an engineering degree. I never thought that I would be a great coach, but anything is possible. And also, so that's my old belief. So now my new belief is that if my heart tells me that that's for me, even though there's so many other challenges in the way, I'm still going to consider doing that. It's a lot better. It's actually more peaceful in mind and in your heart that you did your part of actually opening yourself up to something new, even though it's so uncomfortable, but you still went for it. So I have a couple of examples on that one. 2014, I actually resigned my engineering job to be in culinary field. So I actually went to Le Cordon Bleu and to try out cooking. So I was working at the back kitchen with the chefs. So that's completely different. But I followed it. I followed it because I want to see if that's for me. And it didn't work out, but that's okay. At least I know I have peace in mind that, hey, I've tried it. I'm okay for me not getting there. So same thing with the coaching. So those are the three things, the main three things that I can give.
So to reiterate back is to have that goal and just go for it and be uncomfortable. Yes?
Yeah, be uncomfortable, but of course you have to be strategic.
Your engineering mind's jumping in here.
You have to be strategic and actually, do calculated risks.
Yes.
Yeah. And be resourceful, all those different things.
So to be strategic doesn't mean you could just jump on a business, quit everything.
Yeah.
Pay bills.
Yes. You have to be strategic. Because sometimes maybe it's for you, but it could be timing. So it could be timing. And how can you do that if it's for you or if it's the right timing is get a pen and paper and actually map it out. What are the things that would be a challenge? And then now, if this is a challenge, how can you actually overcome it? And what are the things that will get you faster and how you can get that faster?
Awesome. Anybody else want to ask Shang a question?
I hope I can answer.
Let me see. Actually, my group here too. The people that are not in the.
No, I think it's just great because people always.
Oh, I think Elise is just chit chatting there. So as far as let's say your daily regimen.
Sure.
Are there times where you actually do doubt? And then if you do, because it's normal to like question and like, am I really going to do this? How do you zap that right away? Like, have you created a habit of just zapping those negative thoughts?
What do you mean? Can you say that again?
So like, have you ever, like when you did the Siberian race or any race coming up, have you felt doubt? Like, can I really do this? And then when you do feel it, do you consciously try to stop yourself from doing
Yeah,
it?
I've had doubts. For example, in Trans-Siberia, the main thing about me is if I'm compromising my safety, then I start doubting. I start like, oh my God. Because on the races, when I'm in. There's no doubt. But then once my safety is compromised or other safety is compromised, then I start like, is this the right thing to do? Yeah, and that's when I actually weigh the consequences. And if going forward to what I doubted is still the way I want to go, then I want to make sure I have backup plans. Okay. So for example, one of the things in Trans-Siberia is that there were a lot of big trucks, okay, and they were actually overtaking me. So like, let's say I'm right here riding my bike. I'm pretty small, and then there's big trucks around me, and sometimes there's actually a traffic there wherein there's stopped. So I'm not with my van, my support crew van, but I don't want to jeopardize my my time in riding. So what I would do is that I would still go forward, but then I will have to like do overtakes like this. Just imagine back-to-back trucks.
Oh my God.
In Russia with like the pavement is not even great. So I was going like this. So that's one of the risks that I took. But it was more of the backup plan is that I have a communication method and I will be really alert. So I know it was risky, but I was expecting it. So those if I have doubts, then I look at the consequences and do calculated risks.
And but as far as to reiterate, the only thing that is stopping you is the safety and the environment. If it's gonna be too dangerous. As far as your daily regimen, how does that look like? And how does that keep your mind from being strong? Like, how do you keep your mind being strong on a daily basis?
There will be doubts. So for example, energy wise, like sometimes you're not sure if it's the right way, and we need to make sure that whatever I need to make sure that whatever I'm feeling, it's not being confused with my energy or like my physical state. Because sometimes I'm only doubting because I'm not really thinking well, or I just need some rest. So there will be doubts like that, and that's when I actually have to rest. Okay. And on a daily basis, negative beliefs, I will have that, and I will have to take actions. Wherein I call a friend, I call my coach, I call my spouse to actually get support. Because sometimes there's just blind spots that I won't be able to see because I don't know everything. But if I call the people who I trust and care for me, and actually, get some advices, then I would. It's a lot better to actually have more people, like you said, army, to work with you rather than just one person, and it's only one mindset, because sometimes your mindset is not really the right direction too. So when I have doubts, then I ask the person. And to me also, the other one that I won't doubt is that if you're being a giver and being true to yourself and to other people, and you have good intention, I think to me that's the right way to go, if you're being honest.